And welcome to your second question on Canadian citizenship. So here we have Ivan. Now, Ivan is a Colombian, and we're going to take a look at a scenario involving Ivan that will, of course, relate to Canadian citizenship as it pertains to your upcoming ICCRC Full Skills Exam. So in the previous question, when we saw sample question number 1, well, we saw somebody who was born in Canada, and the question was really asking you whether or not this person is a Canadian citizen. We saw that the answer was no to that, and of course we saw the reason why. Well, this question is going to deal with residency requirements for citizenship, right? And a person's status, of course, in Canada, and how all that really relates to fulfilling or not fulfilling the residency requirements needed for Canadian citizenship. So let's jump into the question here. You're going to have 2 minutes, just like we always do. And again, I hope that you can look through the question and really read through everything and find the answer yourself. And then, of course, verify your answer and your reasoning for the answer by watching our analysis of this question. Okay, so that was 2 minutes already. And you can see over here there are quite a few days and years and that type of thing that we're going to have to look at in order to get the correct answer. But hopefully you've worked through quite a lot of these questions, and especially if you've gone through the lesson on residency requirements for permanent residents, well, I think we have a good foundation in how to work out these types of questions. Okay, so we have Ivan is from Colombia and moved to Canada 8 years ago. He originally arrived as a temporary foreign worker and worked as a mechanic for 2 years in Saskatchewan. Then he became a student and graduated with a 4-year degree in mechanical engineering from the University of Toronto. Even though it was expensive to pay international fees for all 4 years, he feels that his investment paid off because he landed a high-paying job immediately after graduating. He has now been working in this job for the past 2 years while on a post-grad work permit, and was recently selected for an invitation to apply through the Federal Skilled Worker Program in Express Entry. Assuming he obtains his permanent resident status within the next month, when will he qualify for Canadian citizenship? Then we have our 4 options: immediately, because his time as a TR exceeds the 3 years needed. We have B, in 1 year, because he can combine his TR time with his PR time as long as it was within the last 5 years. In 2 years, because he can combine his TR time with his PR time as long as it was within the last 5 years. and D, in 3 years, because he cannot combine his TR time with his PR time. Okay, and let's explore the answers here. So really, when we break down this question, what we are answering, even though it's a big story with Ivan and with all these elements in there, what we're really supposed to answer here is this question. Does TR time combine with PR time in meeting Canadian citizenship residency requirements? And the answer is, of course, yes. So as we saw in the previous lesson, well, people can sort of obtain credit for a maximum of 1 year, which would be counted as, when they do the math, of course, that is 2 years as a TR. So if a person is in Canada for 2 years as a TR, well, then that would equal 1 year of PR. Now, what if a person is in Canada for 3 years, or 4 years, or 8 years as a TR? Well, it only counts as 1 year PR, as long as it was within the last 5 years, because there is a maximum on this. So with this, we know that D is incorrect, and I think it gives us a good starting point to really look through the rest of the options to figure out the answer. And I think with this one, I think you probably know the answer already, but again, it's really important to work through every single one, because we have to be sure, of course, that our answer is correct, and of course that the other answers are incorrect. All right, we have immediately. So remember, he just received an ITA, and we're assuming that he'll receive PR within the month. So can he apply immediately for citizenship? Well, I think that is a very clear no. I think the reasons are very clear as well. So a person needs to, of course, be a PR for 3 years. Now, the only exception to that is if a person is a PR for 2 years and was a TR for 2 years. All right, so we know that the other answer is incorrect, and we're going to analyze B and C together because they're very similar in their structure. The only difference really is that we have 1 year as a PR versus 2 years as a PR. All right, so with this one here, we're really choosing between B and C. And in your real exam, you are going to go through this, where you are choosing between 2 answers, and you have to find hints, of course, to help you decipher which answer is the one that you choose. So in this case here, we are looking at the same information that we talked about before, which deals with a person who has a mix of PR and TR status, and how this relates to Canadian citizenship. So if you remember in the story, well, he just applied for PR. They're expecting, we're assuming that he's going to receive PR within a month. So with this, we are looking, of course, at 2 years as a PR, and of course, his time as a TR would still count towards that because it would be within the last 5 years, even in 2 years. All right, so that was a quick one, and that's what leads us, of course, to C as being the correct answer. So you might say, oh, this isn't a perfect answer because maybe this, but remember, as RCICs, of course, those are all the elements you're looking at. But with this one here, I mean, we're left with C as being the correct answer, and you put this as your answer because it's 2 years. So he would, of course, in the future, we're thinking in the future, of course, well, he'd have his 2 years as PR, and he would have actually 3 years as a TR, but we're only counting 2 of those because remember there is the maximum of 1 year. So 2 years as a TR counts as 1 year PR. Combine that with the 2 years he will receive as a PR, and we have him meeting his citizenship requirements. All right, so that one was, I think, a pretty straightforward one, but I think you can see that people who don't study, or people who maybe don't go through the other lessons or didn't go through the permanent residence residency requirements lesson, I think people would have a little bit of a difficult time with a question like that. So we're going to move on to question 3 in the next video. And this one's going to be a little bit more difficult again, but I hope you're enjoying the lesson because we are certainly covering all the bases really that deal with citizenship, and of course some of those common topics that you should be expecting in your exam.